question I get from my new coaches. What do I say? And I'm like, you say, oh my God, girl, I'm so excited. Do you have time to hop on the phone? Do you have time to hop on the phone? Let's have a real conversation. Let's connect on a human level. Let me be vulnerable and share with you that I had decades of disordered eating, and for some crazy reason, this changed everything for me. I was desperate and alone, and I stepped into this team and this support that was unmatched, and everything changed for me. Let me ask you a million questions to find out where your pain is, find out where your struggle is. That's how we bring people into this opportunity and transform their lives. And before we move on to the next one, I'm going to leave you with this little gut check. We shared it again at my team dinner last night. And it was from one of my coaches on my team. I really want you to take this to heart. She said on a call one time, if you've got a success partner and they're not a success partner, you don't have a success partner, you have a friend. That's probably allowing you to overthink, to not work smart, and to not do what you really need to do. So before you walk out of Summit, I hope you get a success partner that holds your feet to the fire. Because that's what we do on my team. And that's the kind of support and the kind of friendships and the kind of success partners I want in my life. Right? All right, daily mindset work. This is everything. I was thinking about this quote this morning. Commitment is doing the thing you said you were going to do long after the mood you set it in has left. I'll say it again. Commitment is doing the thing you said you were going to do long after the mood has left. You guys, you're going to get home Monday, you're going to be exhausted. Tuesday, you're still going to be exhausted. What's going to happen to all the big visions, all the big goals that you are setting this weekend? The way that you push through the hard days, which we all have, is mindset work. You have to do the inside work to get the outside rewards. Radically successful people are obsessed with personal growth. Every single morning, the very first thing I do, well, the first thing I do is shoot my energize. But the second thing I do is I journal my wins. Because our minds and our brains are literally conditioned to show us the negative. They're there to protect us. So it says, this person quit, this person dropped rank, this person went inactive, you didn't hit Success Club. All the reasons, right? Our mind grabs onto that. We have to overpower that. This is the mindset work. These are the practices. And so every single day, I write down, no matter how defeated I feel, no matter how hard I have failed, I look for where I'm winning. And that starts to recondition and literally rewire my subconscious mind to show up differently. If there's one thing you do when you go home as a new habit, I want it to be that one. Because as much as I proclaim vision, and people talk to me about being the vision queen, and somebody just said, I bet you're talking on vision. I said, I'm actually not. I also believe that you will not rise to the level of your goals, ever. You will fall to the level of your habits. So you have to have both in place. Vision is everything. Vision is so important. But you've got to put the non-negotiable habits in place. And then unfortunately, you're going to have to get really comfortable with failure. I've done it a lot. Not just before Bodi, but I've failed a million times in Bodi. Let's talk about Michael Jordan. I'm sure a lot of you guys know this story. Cut from his high school basketball team. Guys, how many of you have kids? Who has kids in here? I can tell you if my son got cut from his high school basketball team, he would probably not go on to play basketball. I would guess that he would just want to throw in the towel. But Michael Jordan didn't quit. And he is remembered by most as the most legendary basketball player of all time. 6 NBA championships. This one's my favorite because I'm from a baseball family. Reggie Jackson. Listen to this. He struck out 2,600 times. A lot of you might not know if that's that bad or that, whatever, baseball. It's the most in baseball history. He struck out the most in the history of baseball. But he didn't quit. He didn't let that stop him. He went on to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, and he's remembered for all of his home runs. Oprah Winfrey. She got fired from her first job in television. She was ridiculed, but she didn't give up on her dream. We all know where Oprah ended up. I mean, worldwide legend, world changer. But I also want you to know that every single top coach you see on every stage here just has more failures than you. I have probably lost around 30 to 40 diamond coaches. Invested years into them. And they're gone. I've lost over 100 emerald coaches. But that's not what people know me for, right? I didn't quit. People remember me for being top coach, legacy club, superstar 2, all the things that were announced before I walked out here. Because I didn't give up despite the failure. You have to learn to expect that. I hate the word failure because I'm like, there's no such thing. Failure is just, in my brain, it's really, truly not a thing. It's an experience that you're like, that didn't work, pivot. That didn't work, pivot. That didn't work, pivot. That didn't work, pivot. Right? But you're never giving up. You're never giving up. If you're working smart, if you're working hard, if you've got your vision dialed in, you just have to be convicted in that and not give up and learn to expect failure. Carl Zeichler told me a long time ago his favorite book is a book called The Obstacle is the Way. The failure is the path. Right? Successful people have just failed more. Start to correlate those things in your mind. I'm going to leave you with this because right when I walked out here, guys, I was like trembling with excitement to talk to you guys specifically. I remember my first summit. I was sitting in the nosebleeds, but I was inspired beyond belief. And there is somebody in this room, multiple people in this room right now that are going to be on the stage presenting, that are going to be top 10 coaches, that might possibly be the top coach one day. I didn't have the belief. I didn't have the skill set. I didn't have the social media prowess. But everything is figure-outable. Thank you, Marie Forleo, right? But what I saw on Celebration Night is something I'll never forget. I sat in the nosebleeds, and I saw those top 10 coaches. And it was the first time that I was impressed by people. I'm just one that has never been impressed by celebrity. I don't know. I'm impressed by sports people because I think it's pretty amazing what they do. But actors, I'm like, you can act. I don't know why that is super admirable, right? I'm not impressed by Hollywood, but I was impressed. I was just in awe of those 10 women because I knew the character. I knew the grit. I knew the resiliency. I knew how hard they had worked. I knew the judgment they took on to be on that stage, and that to me was impressive. But what I remember most was sitting in that dome and thinking, if my little girl could ever see this, if my little girl could ever sit in this room with me maybe one day and witness women and men celebrating women, women held up for helping other women, it would change her her 4-year-old little life. And I grabbed a hold of that vision. And guess what? I went home and I stopped overthinking. And I got comfortable with failure. And I started working this thing like a business. I committed to my mindset. And 2 years later, that little girl, my little boy, my husband sat in the front row and watched me on that stage as a top 10 coach. That is possible for you. All I want you to walk out of here with is knowing that you're worth it. That you are worth it, that your dreams are worth it, that your kids are worth it, that your family's worth it, that all the lives that you're going to touch are worth it. And I absolutely believe in you. Thanks so much, you guys. Have a great summit.